Hi, my name is Finn Kronstad, and this is my contemporary business leader presentation. So to begin, just a quick description of my business leader. The leader chosen is Dave Kronstad, who is also my father, pictured in the slide. He works in the sports industry. The business he works for is Basketball Travelers and Global Sports and Events, also GSC for short. And his role is he directs foreign tours for NCAA sports teams, specifically basketball, but he has done other teams as well. His position involves him managing a tour of 30 plus people and ensuring everything runs smoothly while also planning and preparing hotels, tour guides, food locations, and much more for the team during the trip. And he has held his leadership and management position for 28 years now. So, in my interview with Dave, I asked him what his greatest career achievement is, and he responded as his greatest career achievement being playing a role in two separate national championship seasons with Baylor men's basketball, which in 2019, that was the year of his international tour. In 2021, they were the champions. And then also UConn or University of Connecticut women's basketball team, which 1999 was the year of their tour and 2000 was the year they won the national championship. Some context for for what I mean when playing a role, basically means just the year he directed a foreign tour for the specific team. It's referring to the summer before doing that for a successful season for a team. Multiple different management principles and strategies were involved on these tours. For example, planning and organizing were used in order to create a seamless foreign trip for the team to be provided with the best service and comfort as possible for them to perform and compete at their highest level. An example of this is includes understanding the foreign areas before the team's arrival to ensure a high knowledge of the area to prepare for any problems or questions that arise from team members. Going on in the greatest career achievement, in the part A of the servant leadership Likert scale, Dave scored 41 in total points. And as you can see there, I have listed what he scored for each different characteristic. Um, and all of these elements tie back to Dave's greatest career achievement through many different ways. For example, listening is a five because in his foreign trips, he needs to make sure he needs to be able to listen to a team he is taking and make sure they are always at maximum comfort or at least the highest comfort you can give them. Another example is his rating of five for awareness, for being in another country. You never know what can happen. Anything can happen. So awareness needs to be high, especially when you're watching 30 plus people. Now for handling a challenge. One challenge that Dave faced in his management career is during a foreign tour with the BYU men's basketball team in the south of France. There was a night where the team had formed plans to have a sit-down dinner at a family-owned restaurant, who, in order to facilitate the entire team, had to open the restaurant early and asked extra staff to come in to help serve the team of roughly 30 people. The restaurant also bought extra food for the specific team event. Then, 3 hours before the team was supposed to get to the restaurant, the staff came to Dave saying they no longer wanted to eat at the restaurant, instead wanted to go somewhere else. And then, in Dave's words, he said, I handled this by explaining to the team that they could not just cancel on a restaurant because, out of the goodness of the restaurant's heart, they had prepared at least a $3,000 night for the entire team. And for a family-owned restaurant, there's a lot of money here on the line. So, after this explanation, the team understood, but still did not want to go. So instead, they paid for the entire tab and still decided to go elsewhere. Overall, this response aligns with a managerial role. Although leadership properties were used, Dave had to manage a last-minute cancellation between the restaurant and team and create an outcome where no parties were upset. And his overall score in the Part B servant leadership Likert scale was 37 for multiple reasons. One example in his score was a characteristic for awareness, which was a five. He got this rating because his awareness of the cultural standards of the restaurant were used to soften tensions to allow for a win-win situation for all parties. Now for power bases and behavior and impact of behavior, sorry. Referent power and informational power both used throughout this conflict. Referent was used because Dave had the integrity and understood what needed to be done for the restaurant and how they could not take a loss of money from a cancellation that large. And informational was used because Dave understood the culture and the cost of what the restaurant had to go through to prepare for a big team event dinner. The use of both power bases impacted the outcome because without the knowledge of cultural values of the restaurant and understanding the cost of the event, that the restaurant would have lost a lot of money, and without the integrity of Dave, the restaurant would have been upset and could have resulted in detrimental losses for the restaurant. Now, mission, vision, strategy, and entrepreneurial mindset. So, the business mission for GSC is creating relations and providing experiences for teams to bond with each other while also receiving a cultural, educational, and relational experience on the foreign tours. From a sporting standpoint, creating extra opportunity for the team to prepare for the upcoming season. Now, having an entrepreneurial mindset is essential in achieving the mission because it is crucial to understand what each team needs and wants, while also being able to provide different teams with different experiences and following through with what you have communicated expectations to be. Now, here's an application of leadership theory. So, servant leadership represents Dave the greatest out of any leadership styles because that is his entire role. His entire job revolves around serving a team and their staff members to create the most comfortable and memorable experience possible. He makes sure all parties are ready for whatever the itinerary of the day is, but always is open to possible changes and being able to update an itinerary based on the needs of the team or the staff members. Now for a leadership style comparison, um, the selected leader that I chose, as mentioned previously, is Dave Kronstad, and his leadership style is servant leadership. Now, the leader in the same industry that I chose is Derek Roble. He serves as the chief of staff for the GCU men's basketball team, and his leadership style is also servant leadership. Both have a very similar role in what they do, just on different scales. Some strengths and weaknesses of the leadership style is some strengths, first of all, is high trust is gained through leading as a servant. Collaborating with team members is much easier because members tend to listen to more to someone that they respect. Now, some weaknesses is the possibility of burnout. You're always putting others' needs before yourself. And during emergency situations, it's better to have a quick and directive action than a collaborative consensus. Now, some leadership lessons. Two characteristics that a leader should demonstrate to be successful. Dave said in the interview that flexibility and communication are both crucial. His reasoning for flexibility is because you never know what will come up and things can change on the fly, especially in a foreign country. With a large group, you never know what can happen, so being flexible is very crucial. Now, for communication, Dave says that communication is crucial because being able to communicate between different parties, such as the team and hotels or tour guides, helps allow for no confusion or at least minimal confusion to allow for smooth and good experiences for the team. Now, one characteristic that a good leader should avoid to be successful is micromanagement. It's important to avoid micromanagement as a leader because team members and workers are going to highly dislike their work life if they are constantly being micromanaged. If workers dislike their work life, their work will become increasingly inefficient and workers will start doing worse. Now, here is a critical reflection of interview and the research process. So, I chose Dave as my leader not only because he is my father, but because he has led and managed people for more than my entire life, and I'm 20 years old. I've seen him firsthand do his job, and there is no better person that I could have gone to but him for a management position interview. The reason I chose Derek Roble as my comparison leader is because I have firsthand experience working under him. As I said previously, his position is the chief of staff for the GCU men's basketball team, and I work as a student manager for the GCU men's basketball team. So he is essentially my boss, and so I've been able to see him working firsthand throughout this entire season. His position is very similar to the type of work my dad does. It's on a different scale in the sense of Derek is serving one specific team and all their needs and operations, while Dave is serving a specific team for a small time period in a country. Um, I was able to prompt responses for some of the lesser known concepts through brief explanations of what they could look like in an interviewee's workplace. For example, with the characteristic of healing, I described that it could mean during a foreign tour, what if a team member could have received a call about a family member in an emergency? Let's say a family member was injured or something bad happened. Then I explained that healing through this would look like being present to help with the team member and being able to help them heal through whatever pain they are in. Overall, much was learned through the interview process. I was able to better understand how much work truly goes into the process of planning for a foreign tour. I've never really understood fully exactly what my dad has to deal with. And in the world of athletics, how much preparation and problem solving is involved with not only teams, but also these foreign tours as well. One challenge that I faced was keeping the interview professional just because the interviewee was my father. And many of the answers or examples that he used, I could have answered myself, being that I've heard him tell these stories many times and I know about his work very well. But in order to keep the integrity of the assignment, I was able to create a formal environment where I was able to ask him the questions that I wanted to ask, and I was able to receive the answers I wanted and be able to jot down some notes and being able to get everything that I needed from him in a sense that made sense and was good for the integrity of the interview. And yeah, here's my references. And thank you for your time and listening.